Okay, today we're going to be talking about the options for setting up Zoom meetings within Moodle. There are a couple different options, and it's been a little bit confusing trying to decide which makes the most sense. And I'm also going to talk about some limitations with some of them. In any of the courses that you're in, you're just going to go to turn editing on. I already have my editing on. And then under add an activity or resource, you have two different options within in here. The most obvious one is the one that simply says Zoom meeting. And this will allow you to just create a brand new meeting within Moodle without having to go out to the Zoom website and setting it up. The other option is what's listed as an external tool. And so it doesn't say Zoom on it because we have a couple different external tools you can pick from there. But we're going to start with the Zoom meeting. I'm going to hit cancel on that because I already have one of these in here, and I'm going to go to edit settings. I've already titled it, and here we have when is it, and then how long is the meeting. We can also have recurring, so we have it every week, every month, however often you need. You can also put in a password, password protected. I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then I have host video on, participants video, so you want to see each other. That makes sense. The key here that is the limitation with this particular plugin is that although we say audio options will allow you to call in by a phone or voice over IP, so just the computer audio, even though we say it's a telephone, it's not going to display the phone number within this plugin. When I create this meeting, if I go back to my Zoom website, it will show it here, and I can click on it, and I could go to the invitation, and I could grab that phone number. So it does exist, it just doesn't display it. So that is a limiting factor, and so it's just something to know. So you might want to check with your students in advance and see if anyone is likely to be using that throughout the semester. But there's also the option that, or the possibility that something happens, they can't connect on the computer, or they maybe have, it would be more if they had a, limiting bandwidth or something like that. So that is something to know. Enable join before host obviously allows them to come in even if you aren't ready yet. And I can hit save and display. It's going to say unable to join because this is in the future. It does give them the join link though. And again, it says you can call in, but it doesn't give you the phone number. Under here, it says all meetings, and all meetings will show any of the other meetings that you've set up using that Zoom plugin. It'll show the concluded ones or the upcoming ones, phone numbers, the dates and such. So that is the standard Zoom plugin. So I can click here, and then I can go and look at the other one. So the other one is the external tool. So I'm going to hit edit settings, and I can come in here and I can say, I'm going to use the Zoom external tool. I'm going to do Zoom Pro. So there are other options in here. So you're just going to select Zoom Pro, and you shouldn't really have to set up anything else within here. I can hit save and display, and because again I have my my Zoom Pro account, it automatically connects all this. It shows a range of different things. This is a course-specific Zoom tool. So what it does is you can have 3 different courses, and you can put an external tool in each one of them. And when it says upcoming meetings, it's only going to show meetings that you have scheduled using this tool within this course. So in this sandbox course, I created 1 meeting. If I created another one here, I'm just going to say, sandbox 2, so on and so forth, hit save. Another confusing part, slightly confusing, is that it doesn't take me out of this. It did create my meeting, but it doesn't take me back to the main screen. The other thing just to note here is that once I've created it, it does give me the option for polling. So I could also set up some polls within this meeting now that I've created it. So I'm not going to go through the polling option, but just know that it's there once you've created it. So it gives me all the information now, but here in the Zoom plugin, it does give me these breadcrumbs, so it can take me back to the course meetings page where we just were. And then Moodle itself has breadcrumbs, so I could just go back to the main page of my course. But for here, I'm going to hit course meetings, so it takes me back to where we were. And now I have these 2 different meetings. Show my course meetings only. Is also a toggle button there. Previous, these are ones that I had one with Ryan today. Cloud recordings, I don't have any cloud recordings based on this. And one other thing that maybe is a bit confusing is you do get the tab that says personal meeting room. The difference is that this does not show to students. Also, they will not get all my Zoom meetings recording. So these are a couple tools that you get as a faculty member or someone that has built this into a course, but the students won't see that. So I want to show you that here quickly. All right, so if I go back and go to my sandbox, here in this course, this person is logged in as a student. So I can go into the external tool and I see these two different meetings coming up, and I can join them and I can view the invitation. And again, in the invite, it does give me the phone number, so that is something that is more accessible in this particular one. I can look at previous meetings, cloud recordings, but that personal meeting room doesn't exist in this particular view. All right, I'm going to go back here a second. So any of these that I've created are only showing within this course. If I go to Zoom here, my regular Zoom page, it will show me those two that are related to a particular course, but it also shows me all my other meetings that I have. So this is a view that I get for everything, and this one just limits for just that particular course. I do have my personal meeting room here, so if you wanted to make that accessible, I mean, the third option you have is simply grabbing the invite link here. You can also copy the full invitation and put that into a label or something like that, but usually you know, you can just have the invite link, and then again, like if you did need the phone number, it does have the full invite has all of this. So if you needed, you know, all of the information here, you could at least do all of that. I could hit copy, and then I could come back to my course, and the third option is to just say I could do add an activity or resource. I could either paste that into a label, which is, or create a page even. So a page would take them to a new place, and I could put all that information in. Meeting info. I put that into the description. Whoops. All right, hit save and display. So this is a page now that says meeting info. The other option here is to just grab that URL, and I could just drop it in as a URL. So that's, I guess there's actually really 4 options. URL, link. There we go. So I've got link, I've got meeting info, I've got the Zoom plugin, and I've got the external tool. So you have a couple different options. By and large, I would say the external tool is the best one. It's the most robust. It keeps all of the upcoming meetings all in the same area, easily accessible to the students and to yourself. And I will just show quickly here, in this particular course, this person is in another course listed as faculty. So if you are if you don't have a Zoom Pro account and you try to add any of these, so for instance, if I try to add the Zoom meeting, it's going to give me this error message. You see this error message, it means that you do not have a Zoom Pro account, and you can send an email to Help Desk and just say, hey, I need you to set up a Zoom Pro account for me. And the same thing if I go in and I would do external tool and select Zoom test, and hit save and display, it gives me this error. So it's a warning and it says it's invalid. So again, this is the identifier to say you do not have a Zoom Pro account. So so that's the key, and we will again follow up and get you all set up. I know that there's a lot of different options here. I would say use the external tool for the most part. But there could be reasons why you want a different setup, and we're happy to talk with you about any of that. You can email Help Desk with any questions, and we will promptly follow back up and get you all set up. So if you have any questions, feel free to just send in. Hopefully this gives you a quick overview of the couple different components and options you have within Zoom and Moodle.